When the first settlers arrived in America, they found a land full of opportunity. God's country, rife with possibility, only limited by their reach and their ambition. Today, we reap the fruits of their labors, but we yearn for more. This is the land of our earliest pioneers and rebels, and that spirit of independence has been passed down for hundreds of years to us. As we see our inheritance squandered and sold off, we are presented with our own kind of opportunity, to build something new and to add to that great inheritance which we've been given, instead of simply taking from it what we can. For the new Ivy League, your old Glory Club chapter in New England, I'm here to invite you to our inaugural banquet this September 13th. Our states are famous for our autumn foliage and deep, dark winters. Where better to discuss the autumn of civilization and to make the connections we need to see us through the coming winter? Join us in the land of Yankees and Puritans, of the Tea Party, of Mark Twain, Robert Frost, and H.P. Lovecraft. Whether you're a member of the Old Glory Club, or you've just found your way here, between hearing our speakers and connecting with your fellow attendees, I know this will be a night to remember. This is our land of opportunity. This is our chance. Will you be able to say, I was there at the beginning? And if you can't make it, if we're just too far, well, then you'll be hearing from our brothers in the other chapters very soon about their own events. Tickets are on sale now. Contact your regional liaison for more information. Thank you.
Damn. All right. Well, that's one way to start the show. So thank you to Son of Haster up in the new Ivy League for letting everybody know of the event that is going on in September. So if you guys are members of an OGC chapter, please reach out to your regional liaison. We can hook you up with a ticket to the event. Those guys do amazing work up there, and I'm sure it'll be a fantastic evening for all. But anyway, we are back for another episode of Pony Express Radio. Once again, returning from his week off, we got Pete Quinones is back. How are you, Pete?
The kidney stone is gone, so I'm happy to be back and happy to be rid of it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yes. And we got our special guest this evening, Mr. Karl Dahl. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you back on the show. I mean, if people hadn't caught your conference speech, it is on the Old Glory Club channel right now. You guys can go watch it. Mr. Dahl received the award this year for best joke at the conference. It was it was quite fantastic and got a lot of laughs from everybody. But yeah, so very, very fun indeed. Quick shillings to get started, and then we'll get into the show. As always, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and it was just one of these days where a bunch of stuff happens just like a couple hours before we start the stream, so we have to talk about the most recent stuff. So it should be an exciting one tonight. I'm hyped for it. But anyway, so as always, White Boy Summer is reaching its end, but that doesn't mean you need to get rid of your White Boy Summer physique. Please head over to Axios Remote Fitness and Coaching and get yourself shredded for next year's White Boy Summer, or potentially could be an eternal White Boy Summer. Who knows? I'm feeling like we're so back after days like today. So head on over to Axios Remote Fitness and Coaching, get yourself shredded. Also get your caffeine fix with Fox and Sons coffee. Link down in the description below for all you guys out there who are slaving in the corporate world or working hard every single day, doing whatever it is you do. You need your caffeine to keep you sharp and focused. So head on over to Fox and Sons Coffee, get your caffeine fix. And additionally, definitely get yourself some Alps for your nicotine fix, because we here at the OGC are pro big tobacco, as always. So get your nicotine fix with Alp nicotine pouches. Link also in the description. Alrighty, boys. Let's jump into the first topic of this evening. So I got to tell you, I did not expect this to come across my desk today, but boy, oh boy, did this just get the blood boiling on this one. So a new report from the White House is saying that they are all 55 million visas in the United States are being under review for potential deportation violations. First of all, I mean, the one thing that stands out with this, I don't think anybody knew that 55 million people in the United States were here on visas. That was just a shocking number. That is 1 out of 6 Americans, enough for 25 states half of the country states worth of people are here on visas of some form or another. Like, just how could this be allowed? This is just ridiculous, man. 1 in 6 people, and this isn't even including all the illegal immigrants or all the anchor babies or all of the legal migrants that have gotten here through other means that aren't currently on visas or one way or another. This is just crazy, man. It very well might be that close to 40% of the entire American population is just foreigners of one way or
Oh,
another.
absolutely. There's so many places in this country where you go and people are brand new immigrants everywhere. And you see it when you're looking for work too. It's completely insane.
Well, I assume this is also student visas, and
Yes.
I've told the story before about when I lived in Auburn, Alabama, where I was 5 minutes from the university, that my whole street, except for me, was Chinese. Like, everyone was Chinese in my neighborhood. So yeah, this is not a shock. 1 in 6 people here are either here on a visa, and it looks like some of them could have problems with their paperwork. Now, we know what that means. It means we have to kick them out. The question is, will we? I mean, is it just, is it just hoping and wishing again? Or, are we going to get the one thing that I think anyone who, still isn't just ready to flush Trump down the toilet is hanging their hat on, is the fact that we could get immigration fixed. Now,
Yep.
Do I think it's going to happen? I think I've expressed that opinion before, but it's the only thing. And when you look at this, you just, basically every story we're going to talk about tonight just tells us we don't have a country. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely going to be quite a bit of a theme this evening for sure. The thing here is it's gotten to the point where I tweeted about this recently. A lot of other people have had similar experiences with this one, is that just talking to everyday normies, everybody knows that the official numbers for however many people in this country are just blatantly false.
Everybody knows.
We could see it. You go into a supermarket, you go into Costco, you go to a public park, you go to a zoo, you go to Disney World, you go to a ball game, you go literally anywhere, and you just see an entire horde of mystery meat people that were not here even 5 years ago. You can't tell me and pull the wool over my eyes saying that, oh, well, actually, all these people are, we're here all the time, and America's always been, this diverse, and, this is just ridiculous and bigoted for you to even think that there's anything different here. And as Rolling Gun points out in this tweet, it's like, yeah, here's your housing crisis right here. 1 in 6 people in this country just should not be here, period. You're a visa worker of some kind. You are not allowed to be in the United States. So there's your housing crisis literally right there, solved. Get rid of these people.
It's not only the housing crisis. I mean, we're talking about traffic, which, when you think about it, you would think that some of these people who are like these radical environmentalists would want to have as few people here as possible because they're all driving. So we just have that much more pollution. Waiting in line. I mean, there's been I think there's an app out there called Ice Block. And I've heard that some of our guys, like before they go to a store or something, are calling Ice Block and reporting the store so they can clear it out, just so that they can shop in peace with less crowds and shorter lines. Just things like, everything, the price of everything is going to go down. But I will remind you, and I've said this before, Walmart, Publix, all these businesses do not want them gone.
Correct.
There is your enemy. They are relying upon having as many people in this country as possible so they can have as many customers as possible, as many annuities just feeding them money every week as possible. This whole capitalism thing. Oh, capitalism is, that's why we're free. Well, I don't even know what capitalism is. I'm tending to believe the pejorative that it was the term was created with. But it's like, if that's what it is, if it's all about making money, if it's all about who has the fattest bottom line, You have billion-dollar companies who are going to fight this tooth and nail. This is a much bigger war with way more enemies and way more powerful enemies than people realize.
Is it a target-rich environment?
Oh,
So a
Carl.
friend of my son's, I'll try not to Fed post. A friend of my son's graduated in the spring with a 3.8 GPA, took every single AP class, did awesome. Every single one that he could get in his school, had a sports background, and his math was, the highest level that you could take all through high school. And he did not get accepted to a state university that we considered a safety school when I was that age. He was not accepted. And it's because they have 35% foreign students, because the schools make like 4 times the tuition, and then those people are more plugged in to all the services and they're guaranteed this cash. They know they're going to get their money because they have to pay, every month. So it's wild how awful every institution has been turned into just a heartless business who's just like, we know that we're a land grant university intended to educate the people of this state, but we want out of state students and we want foreign students. That's all that matters to them.
All these companies are literally like if you're married and your wife wants all of your protection, provisioning, the house under your head, all the money you take in, but she wants to go fuck another guy. It's like, no, this is a fucking joke. Are you out of your mind? You're here in the United States of America under our goodwill, the protection of our legal codes, the protection of our tax laws, all the other benefits that you get for being in business in the United States. And now you're like, oh no, we're just gonna, go bring in a bunch of foreigners to either work in our shops or to buy our products or to stack our education centers and classrooms. It's like, this is ridiculous, man. This is what nobody thinks of unless you're like one of these like libertarian dorks, think like this is like the free market in action.
Nothing delegitimizes a society like this sort of behavior. Listening to Orrin McIntyre's great appearance on Tucker again in the car today with my son, since I listened to it when it first came out, and I was like, hey, let's check this out. Him talking about the managerial revolution and the evolution away from where the institutions become about preserving and growing themselves and become international, because that makes the most sense, to just have these flows from one place to another, maximum chaos, maximum money, maximum growth, all that sort of stuff. And it's completely untethered from the stories that we tell ourselves or that it tells us about what we actually are. And then they just simply stop telling those stories. They stop pretending and they start talking about, being our democracy and stuff like that, even though it's not our democracy, obviously, because it has nothing to do with us. And it's radicalizing a lot of people. I have a neighbor who worked for the federal government, great lady, very Democrat oriented, being a Northeasterner. I don't hold it against her. I understand the mentality, but she's like radicalized because her, two, white early 20s kids can't find jobs. They just graduated from college and they're like, what am I going to do? Well, they can continue going to school, and because the story is, well, just get a master's degree. She's like, I know all these smart kids who did everything that you were supposed to do. They did everything that everyone ever told them was a recipe for success. They have all this student debt and they can't find jobs, let alone the people, in the middle of their lives who can't find jobs. So it's radicalizing people. And, that means that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for bridging gaps. A lot of people are throwing aside these boring ideological things because they just have so much more in common with one another. And then other areas, the negative side of that for the people who fall for ideology is, these ideologies that bound together dissimilar people are going out the door because everyone realizes that they're just a spook. It's just a scam. Like you said, capitalism. What's capitalism? Is capitalism a god? Do you sacrifice your children to the god of capitalism?
Yeah, it's really nice to see that people are just completely sidestepping all of these, weasel words and dialectical traps that were used to keep people on this like plantation, this acceptable, space of dialogue for the last like 40, 50, 60, however many years you want to go back to it. But everyone is just saying, no, I'm not getting trapped in your stupid games anymore. Fix the problems. That's it. You can just do things is becoming like the meme of our age, basically, at this point. I'm not listening to your discussion about, but my free markets. It's like, shut up. All right, just stop. I'm going in here. I'm fixing the problem. And especially with young men, particularly young white men at this point, they've had enough.
I mean, these are, the libertarian types think that, I used to think that libertarianism was just like a, like a more intellectual form of the right wing. I mean, it's obviously not right wing. So, I mean, I can admit when I'm deluded, but, basically they think they live in a binary. It's either laissez-faire capitalism or communism. There's no in between with them. So you can't even really take them seriously because, as I've taken to pointing out, they act just like communists, because communists are like, it's either communism or it's capital, or it's capitalism, and it's it's exploitative. It's like, no, we're not. If you have something, I mean, Marx, all you have to do is read Marx. Marx said, we need capitalism. Capitalism is what is going to cause families to break apart. People are going to become deracinated. All they're going to care about is money. They're not going to have anything. There's going to be nothing that's going to that's going to cause people to be cohesive. It's going to be a free for all. And that's the way we get to communism.
Yep.
Now, from an economic standpoint, it's taking a longer time. They saw that people weren't just going to embrace that, so they started sneaking it in through cultural things. Now people, because sneaking it in through cultural things, and because we still have capitalism, everything's starting to fall apart. That's why people are like, oh, we're going to become communist. Well, yeah, that was the plan all along. That's what capitalism was going to bring us. And now some fucking midwit out there is going, well, if it's not capitalism, what are we gonna have?
Isn't it interesting that Trotsky is kind of winning though because of capitalism ushering in globalism, international globalism? And that, I mean, if you think about it like that, well, it's actually more like communism in a handful of countries, which then subsidize the rest of the world. It's totally wild.
Yeah, we're at a point now where communism wanted to bring us, because we rejected communism. We rejected Bolshevism. We rejected communism, but we held on to capitalism. And since 99% of the people who accuse other people of being communists have not actually sat down and read Marx and Lenin and Bakunin and all, they don't realize how we got to where we are. I mean, it's just education. It's just figuring it out. The books are out there.
Well, again, getting back to the topic of you can just do things, and these arguments of free trade and open immigration and free markets and everything like this. Here's an announcement that Marco Rubio made, like literally just before we came on air on this one. I couldn't believe this.
Big Rubio, big Marco.
Yeah. Effective immediately, we are pausing all issuance of worker visas for commercial truck drivers. The increasing number of foreign drivers operating large tractor-trailer trucks on U.S. roads is endangering American lives and undercutting the livelihoods of American truckers. This, no doubt, is in response to that absolutely horrifying video that actually took place in Florida, Marco Rubio's home state,
Yes.
earlier this week or late last week, of the two Indian guys who were driving on the highway 70 miles an hour, just decides to do a U-turn on one of those emergency, you guys know, like when you're driving on the highway, the cops and ambulances and other emergency vehicles are allowed to use these dirt U-turns in case of emergency. Well, this Indian guy just decides, oh, well, I can use this on the highway, brings his truck to a complete stop, decides to do a U-turn, and kills a family of 3 in the process. And we're not going to show the video here because, we don't need to see this kind of stuff. But just looking at the expression of both these guys' faces in there, like just no remorse whatsoever. So like a robot, like a Terminator, like a T-800, is driving this thing. Just has no acknowledgement that, I just killed a family of 3 with my own stupidity. Well, and this caused such an uproar. And of course, it came out that this guy was here illegally, got a visa through California through Gavin Newsom, in 2022, I believe, or 2021, something like that. Either way, this guy shouldn't have been here. This guy couldn't speak English. He took an English proficiency test after the accident, only answered, 3 out of the 15 questions correctly. So the guy couldn't even read the road signs. Why is this character driving on my roads? And fuck your free markets. Fuck your capitalism arguments. This guy's a danger, and he shouldn't be here.
This is actually a multi-state problem. Obviously, it's a problem for the whole
Canada
country.
too. Ontario
Canada
is
the
fucked.
biggest problem. Canada's the biggest problem. Canada was the first through the door on this, and the Pajit in question came to the U.S., went to Washington State first, got a provisional driver's license in Washington State because his network funneled him there, and then he went to California and got one of these out-of-state trucking provisional commercial, his CDL, which basically has like no testing. It was something that was implemented. There was a great show our friend Jay Burden did with Gord, who's a classic Canadian and trucking professional who lays it all out. Great show. It just came out. Was it yesterday? Possibly. It was this week, and lays it all out. Gents, my cousin was killed New Year's Day by a Pajit trucker with one of these provisional California commercial driver's licenses. And very, very, very upsetting, but this is it's appalling. With the Canadians, originally they were supposed to only be servicing, I think it's the first 60 or 90 miles along the border, but they just drive all over the country. U.S. originating loads that are being delivered within the U.S. are supposed to be done. All that driving is supposed to be done by U.S. licensed truckers. That has been waived as well. Mexicans get similar waivers as well. It's just ever since COVID, it's all hands on deck, cram them in, keep justifying and giving them visas. They just show up and they get these crazy provisional visas and go to work for these crooked Pajit trucking companies and stuff. And some of them are U.S. companies, and they're just traitors.
It's even such a larger slap in the face given the discussion we were just having, and you were just pointing out, Mr. Dahl, about the struggles that young heritage Americans who are just graduating from high school and college have with getting jobs like this. And all the institutions in this country are bending over backwards, doing back handsprings, trying to make this guy's job as easy as possible to get a trucking license in the United States when the guy can't even read the fucking road signs.
Yep. They doubled the amount of CDL issuances in a year by waiving all these requirements because, U.S. CDL, you have to get all this, your licensing and pass tests and actually have knowledge. But if you're a foreigner, you just show up and lay waste to people on the highways. It's completely insane.
Like, what is going through your mind? Like, any of us who, even if you've driven for like 5 minutes of your life, if you're 16 years old, right, but you've grown up on American roads or something like this, that is just so unbelievably faux pas to think that I'm going to stop on a 70-mile-an-hour highway and bring this giant ass 18-wheel truck to a complete stop and decide to do a U-turn, cross multiple lanes, and just completely crush a family of 3 in a car. It's like, it's just, how do you even comprehend it? Like, these people just aren't even us. They're nothing like us whatsoever.
It illustrates the problem of the third world mentality, that, you know, it used to be that in small numbers, you know, the theory was that in small numbers, high quality people from the third world would come here. We would force them to follow our rules, and then they could assimilate. And then the ones who couldn't cut it, we'd get rid of them. You know, and then of course, over time, you know, you relax all standards, you know, because white people bad. And you end up with a situation where it's like New Delhi on the roads, because they're just the most selfish people. They don't care about following rules. They think if you follow rules, you're a sucker. Everything is a scam, because if you're not scamming people, you're a sucker. You're the one being scammed. It's just, it's a race to it's an absolute race to the bottom. And people don't understand it. Like, the American boomer is like totally susceptible to the charm of the Pidgeot. Like, they have no defenses. They have no experience with them outside of people with certain kinds of IT jobs, had experience with them and knew how they operated. Other than that, everyone's like, wow, he's, you know, kind of Western presenting, but he's brown and he has a big smile, and, you know, wow, he's just like us, you know. And I have a friend that I can tell my friends about. It's just, oh, it's the worst. It's absolutely the worst.
Never gets old.
Yep. But it's just fifth column upon fifth column.
Yeah,
that's all it is, and it just can't stand anymore.
Pete, those
we need
55 million are 55 million individuals that you have to judge individually.
Yeah. You have to. I actually saw a libertarian arguing that, well, you know what the law says is that you have to bring each one into court. And it's like, no,
fuck you.
No, it's either going to be like leave, or, you know,
we'll do the thing.
The wall on the southern border, they're going to be facing it.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. That's a nice euphemism, I think you've coined.
Which, you know, side point,
the southern border wall.
Yeah, really. Which, side note on that one, I don't know if you guys saw this week, but Border Patrol and Homeland Security guys were out there this week painting the bars black to ensure that they got literally as hot as humanly possible in the desert sun. So as soon as somebody attempts to climb it, you know, you just get fried. Yeah. You know, I personally would have preferred a moat with, you know, sharks and alligators, but, you know, we'll take do with what we have, right? All right. So, good news on that front for the trucking stuff. This needs to be done in many more industries across the country, most notably the tech industry, for sure. Get these people out of here. I mean, it's like every day I hear from some of my friends that are in the tech business, some of which are, you know, on OGC Central, and they're just like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of dealing with these people. Well, it's just, and what's even worse too is you get met with the arguments afterwards for this, and it's like, listen, all right, there are some problems with the younger generations in this country. You know, nobody's perfect at all, right? But this ridiculous lie we have to throw on top of everything that, oh, well, it's all just down to the millennials and the Gen Z and the alphas and everybody, they just weren't really working that hard and weren't pulling themselves up by their bootstraps or what have you. It's like when you literally have shit like this, and it's not just in trucking, it's not just in education, it's all over the place. All right. It's in housing, it's in your corporate jobs, it's in your white collar jobs, it's in your blue collar jobs when you're on a construction site. It's literally everywhere. You have to compete with 100 million, 150 million plus people who have no business being here. All right. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of having these arguments with people. It's like, no, we're not talking about this. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not getting caught up in another one of these stupid statements. We can just deport people, and we damn well should be.
Face the border wall.
Goddamn right. Absolutely. All right. So, with that done, speaking of problems with foreigners in this country, another realm we can get into is actually local politics and elections and such, because as these people come here in greater numbers, they start forming little enclaves and everything like that. I mean, why don't we watch this video here? This is coming out of Hamtramck, which is a suburb of Detroit. This was just this last week. Let's listen in.
New video obtained by Local 4 shows a black pickup truck pulling up outside Hamtramck City Hall in the middle of the night, just days before the primary election. All of a sudden, the lights turn on inside the truck. That's when you spot 3 men inside, including what appears to be Council Member Abu Musa in the back seat, the same council member who is seeking re-election right now. The video then shows the driver getting out and stuffing absentee ballots into the drop box. The only problem? They don't all fit. He then starts pushing them in before reaching for 2 more stacks. The whole time looking around to see if anyone is watching. After about 2 minutes, the group drives away. And get this, Local 4 found that it happened again, only 4 days later. This time, a different car pulling up with what appears to be the same council member in the passenger seat. He then starts handing bundles of ballots to the driver, dropping off 3 large stacks. City election results show Musa received 1,129 votes during the primary, making him the top contender for city council in November. Michigan State Police confirmed the videos are part of an ongoing investigation. It all comes just days after 2 Hamtramck City Council members were charged with election fraud in connection to the 20.
Well, it's not
you want me to Fed post, don't you? You just want me to start Fed posting, right?
Try to keep it together, Pete. We got to keep the stream up.
Well, this is how they operate. I had an amazing conversation one time with a then friend who was from India. It was Obama's election, his re-election, excuse me. He was getting married here. His parents came to visit for the wedding, and on election day, his father was amazed that there weren't banners everywhere and there weren't gangs going around, basically, ethnic gangs, ethno-sectarian gangs going around, like prodding people to push them out to the, to the ballot box. He was amazed by that. And so this is just an example of them bringing it here. This is how they do it. We say you have to have elections to be, to be a democracy. And they go, okay. And they just have their ethnic gangs run everything. The guy's in the fucking car, like, while they're doing this, because he doesn't even trust them to do, like, he has to get his guys who he's probably paying cash, or with, like children.
Well, I'll even show you how little he trusts his co-ethnics on this one. We actually have the breakdown right here of the votes. I've got them right here. So of the 1,000+ votes that this guy received, right? 286 of them were actually votes in person, and the remaining 843 of them were via absentee ballots.
Classic.
It's like 4/5 of this guy's votes. Oh, I'm just gonna dump them into the mailbox.
I won.
Yeah, it's just the most blatant thing ever.
I have the most votes.
Yeah,
it would be sad if somebody rigged one of those drop boxes, rigged all those drop boxes.
Careful.
That Yeah, if you drop more than 2 votes in it, more than 1 vote in at once, like, something happens.
Like one of those like
Surprise!
when you rob a bank.
Friendly predators on inbound.
Amazing.
So good.
Amazing.
Oh, man.
Well, I was thinking one of those, like when you rob a bank in the old bank robbing movies, like a blue paint grenade like blows
Yeah.
up and makes all the bills like null and void or something like that.
Except it's a phi bomb.
It's it's just, I mean, it's just everywhere, man. It's like, we don't have to live like this. Like none of these people, no Americans pictured on the city council whatsoever. Now, if we actually went back to that clip and saw the names of all the Star Wars Americans there, that were actually on the ballot, it's crazy. We have ethnic enclaves popping up all over the state here. Ridiculous. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at these. Look at these names. Yeah, Naeem, Choudhury. I can't even pronounce half these fucking names. Yeah, Yusuf Saeed and Mutahathar. That really sounds like a Star Wars bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Diane Elizabeth. Yeah.
Well, the Pollock on the bottom is just completely shut out. I mean, they used to, as far as I know, if I know that area properly, the Pollocks used to run that area.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, in Hamtramck. Oh yeah, very Polish area back in the day. I mean, but the whole Metro Detroit area now is just completely overrun with not just Indians. We were covering that one character who barely spoke the language and tried to impeach Donald Trump just at the start of this next term. But we actually have a huge influx of Afghans, Iraqis, Syrians, various Middle Easterners who are, the victims of Jihad, basically, and just like, oh, we're going to flood these people in here. There's Islamic calls to prayer in the city of like Dearborn Stand now. It's crazy. All of them have to go back. All of them.
Lordy.
Yeah, indeed. So it's just everywhere with these things. So why don't we keep on advancing with our topics here on this one. So all right, we're gonna do it. This is the big story of the evening. We've reached past like the 15-minute point on the YouTube mark.
Oh
right?
man!
So we get to talk about what happened in Las Vegas this week. This one, oh man, this one got people's blood boiling this week, myself included, man, because holy shit, how can this be allowed? Who is in charge? Who is in charge here?
We know who's in charge,
right? Yeah.
Pete, who's in charge?
Well, at the start
isn't it the Amish?
Yeah, of course, the Qataris. The Qataris. Yeah.
Qatari teenage riot.
Yeah, Qatarlson. Yeah, is secret agent here. All right. So this comes from Village Crazy Lady on Twitter. So executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate was arrested this week in Las Vegas in child predator ring sting. This guy works directly under Netanyahu, so of course he was allowed to go back to Israel. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that an Israeli national was caught in a child sex predator ring in Las Vegas and was allowed to return to Israel and didn't have his passport revoked when he was in a investigation for child endangerment and predatory acts? Say it ain't so.
I don't really even know where to start with this one. Let's start with the U.S. attorney for Nevada. Trump appointee. Well, not appointee. She's not even officially there. She was appointed 120 days, didn't get voted in 120 days, which means she could get reappointed. And of course, she was born in Israel. All these old tweets pop up of her talking about, that Netanyahu's not doing enough to kill the Palestinians, and that none of the children are innocent either. The one thing I was thinking was, when it came out about a year and a half ago, that 60% of the judges in the DC courts were born in another country. I remember just like losing my shit on the stream about that, and how, you know, it's not only who would want to appoint them, but the fact that they would want to be appointed, that they would not feel like, you know, I wasn't even born here. Why would I want to have a job? Why would I take a job judging people and judging a system that I wasn't even born into? This goes in the same direction for this woman. She wasn't born here. Why is she a fucking state's attorney?
That's insane.
I mean, it's like
Pete, Americans
it's like
just aren't working hard enough. You know, they aren't going to law school. They're just not working hard enough to fulfill that job. She was the only one who could have been qualified for that.
Yeah, there's no one with the last name Adams or Smith. You know, no heritage Americans are going to law school. No one's there. So they got to bring her in there. And and then it's Vegas. And what is Vegas? It's a Jewish crime city. It's a city that was friggin' founded by the Jewish mob.
Just go watch The Godfather, man.
I mean, it's friggin' Mo Green.
I watched it recently,
and
I was like, wow.
You think that you're going? This is a shock to you? It's a shock that they put some Israeli as the state's attorney in Nevada? We don't have a fucking country. We don't have a country. Who the hell is in charge? Trump, it's like you have people screaming at us, oh, you got to support Trump. Trump's our only hope. We're never going to get someone like him again. And I supported. I don't regret voting for him, because none of this would be, this would be a foregone conclusion. There wouldn't even be an argument, and we'd be in fucking camps, okay, by now. But what the fuck is the point of this? What is the point of having a state which is basically run and it doesn't benefit anyone in the United States? It benefits another fucking country and their people and their parasitic diaspora that won't go live in that country.
It's just so unbelievable that, number one, people know this. This is not like a one-off case here of a child sex predator being sent back to Israel and then not having extradition order sent back to the United States. None of this is not like a one-time thing here, all right? But, we've made the point previously on this show many times that, okay, if we are going to talk about how terrible the 1940s were for the certain group of people, America was not responsible for that. The people who are responsible for that are long dead in the ground. You should be on your hands and knees kissing the feet of Americans who saved you from that horror, if it is as bad as you say. And instead, you harbor child sex predators in your country, half a world away. And in addition to us giving you literally all of your weapons and ammunition, all of your information, Big Daddy America's coming to back you up here. It's like we get fucking nothing out of this relationship whatsoever. And this guy, which also begs the question, why the fuck is the director of the Israeli National Cyber Directorate in Las Vegas when they're in the middle of this like great big horrible right now? This is a fucking joke, man.
I just pasted a link into the chat, which is a screenshot of Tom Alexandrovich's last post on LinkedIn before he nuked his account from 6 days ago as of August 16th. He was at Black Hat 2025, which it was a conference in Vegas. Black Hat USA 2025 was from August 2nd through 5th. With some other activities taking place after that. And he posts hashtag Black Hat 2025 powered by hashtag AI with a strong Israeli accent. Two things you can't escape at Black Hat 2025. The relentless buzz of generative AI and the sound of Hebrew in every corridor. It feels like 60% of the expo floor is a showcase of, quote, startup nation, unquote, and the energy is incredible. And then he goes, blah, blah, blah. The key takeaway, the future of cybersecurity is being written in code and child molestation. And it seems a significant part of it is being authored in Tel Aviv and powered by LLMs. An exciting time to be in the field. Astonishing.
I mean, the way Ryan Dawson explains this, he's like, look, the kitty fucking is not about blackmail. The money's about blackmail.
Yes.
The kitty fucking is just what they want to do.
It's just what they do.
It's just a perk. It's just a fucking perk. They come here to fuck kids because they know they can get away, because they like it and they know they can get away with it. Now, what the fuck is the White House going to do about that? Because to me, it seems like they're facilitating it. Oh, Epstein, why are you still talking about that creep? Oh, that's the Obama, that's Democrats who were doing that. Oh, that's a Democrat conspiracy theory. Oh, go fuck yourself. We don't have a country. We got friggin' Star Wars named people stuffing ballots and getting elected in friggin' Michigan. We got a whole fucking Minnesota is going to be Somali. Friggin' Texas is fucking Mexican, and then you have a friggin' whole state that's just Jewish. I mean, how many states? You know, at least major parts of the city. And these are people who send money back there, but they won't go live there. Why? Oh, because they can't parasite off of us if they're over there.
Yep.
We don't until this gets solved. I mean, they come here to fuck kids, knowing that they'll just get sent right back if they get caught. This guy's not coming back here. This guy's not coming back here to get to face charges. He's not going to face charges in Israel. If anything, they'll give him a fucking parade. Now, the guy in 1999, who went in an Israeli and shot up a mosque while everyone was praying, killed like 26 or 30 people. Smotrich has a fucking picture of him on a wall. These people are fucking psychopaths. They are scum. They cannot be in this fucking country. How many times do I have to fucking say this? And it seems like Trump is facilitating it. How the hell can we give you our loyalty? If you're facilitating, if your policies facilitate kid fucking in this country.
On this note, we have a clip here as the response that State Department actually had as a result of this, because of course a lot of backlash quickly was thrown their way on this one, because so you literally just facilitated a international child predator to return to his home country, where I mean, as far as I'm concerned, given how much we give Israel, we should be able to get literally anything we want out of these people, because they literally only exist by our good graces. But here we go. U.S. State Department responds saying the Department of State is aware that Tom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. It's like, all right.
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. So here's I mean, probably, but I'm aware of people committing murder and getting paroled on like $5,000 because, to not do that would be racist. So who knows? Like it's basically a sting operation. The solicitation was a sting operation, and so they can go soft. One of my son's former teachers was caught in a sting operation, and the amount of money he had to put up was very minor, even though he thought he was going to meet like a 13-year-old, and he was a middle school teacher. So you never know. Nevada is very liberal. Like, crime is legal in Nevada. So,
well, Sin City, right?
It's just another form of degradation that we're subjected to.
The thing about this in response from the State Department tweet is the attorney that we were just talking about, Sigal Chatia, or however the fuck you pronounce her stupid name, was basically in a game of he said she said kind of thing, trying to push blame back and forth, saying, oh well, it was the fault of the state prosecuting attorney for not taking the passport away, it was the fault of so and so for not doing this. And of course nobody wants to take responsibility for the fact that this obvious man who should be just ideally hanging by the end of the rope, as soon as possible, as opposed to spending his life in prison or anything like this. They clearly dropped the ball on this one. Basically, what this tweet is admitting here is that if you are not actively involved in the facilitating of child exploitation and sending this guy overseas, you're at the very least like some of the most incompetent retards in the entire world. You're not making yourself look good by tweeting this one out, State Department.
And I want to bring something up that really bothers, another thing that really bothers me, and it should bother everybody. I saw an ad that this woman had when she was raising money so that she could run for office, and she was targeting Ilhan Omar. Okay, Ilhan Omar should be targeted by us, not by her. What she's doing in targeting Ilhan Omar is deflecting away from what she is. Okay? That's what all these fucking kosher right people, you see so many Jews on the timeline now who are promoting pro-white. Oh, it's pro-white. I'm sorry. This is just another one of their shields, like Rothschild. This is another one of their shields so that you think that they're on your side. They are not. Why would you?
It's the same thing they do when they try to deflect by saying, oh, a Muslim is about to become mayor of New York City. It's the same shit every time. The Qataris are having an outsized influence on American elections. Get the fuck out of here. No one believes you. Fucking liars.
I mean, it really is time. I dropped an episode with Michael Rechtenwald. I mean, he's a former NYU professor who was a Marxist. And he became a libertarian, and now he's he started a PAC, an anti-Zionist PAC, to not only get anti-Zionist candidates elected, but to remove pro-Zionists from office. Now, is that going to work? I don't know. Probably not. That takes some fucking balls. And especially in this environment, that takes some balls, and it's also it also takes foresight, because we're coming to that. I mean, over half the country doesn't even care about these people anymore. They don't care about that country over there anymore. Oh, yeah. And when the boomers finally meet the day of the pillow, I mean, their support's gonna plummet in this country. So I mean.
Pete, I heard an evangelical pastor in my circles, I should say, who said that the most pressing concern, and this infuriated me because his church used to be reasonable. His biggest concern, the most pressing concern in America right now, is the loss of support for Israel. I'm like, not mass.
Fed post, hashtag Fed post.
Yes. Incredible.
It's just just go lay down.
Not the 55 million people here on fucking visas that are probably all fraudulent. No, that's not the problem. The problem is we're not supporting Israel. You get to the point where you listen to people talk about supporting Israel, and you start questioning whether you're losing your mind, because you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? What do you mean this country won't survive without Israel? You fucking nuke Israel and just put a friggin' aircraft carrier there. It's the same thing, except it'll be an aircraft carrier where hopefully they won't be flying over here to fuck kids.
It's like in situations like that, when you have those conversations, it's just, like that. It's just like that meme. It's like, okay, boomer, go lay down. I'll take it from here.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, all right. So obviously, this is going to get significant more pushback, and more people are aware of. Let's just say that the fact that this is not a new occurrence for Israel harboring child sex predators within their borders, and then obviously not punishing them. And it's not like the other thing too is. It's not like these people are being taken to like some Jewish court in Tel Aviv or something.
Oh, no.
Punished over there. This guy is gonna just get away with it and likely go do the exact same thing in another country, if not his own.
Well, he'll probably just get a friend of his who works in the jail to let him in so he can rape Palestinians. I'm sorry. These people are fucking degenerates. This guy needs to.
This guy looks like one of those people that buys a kid.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
and for the record, Israel has 0 international agreements regarding extradition of criminals.
Yeah,
0. It is a huge deal when they extradite someone, and when they do extradite someone, it's usually a cover-up for what's really going on. Like they had basically like a retarded shut-in kid who was extradited to the US to do time for basically Israeli government-run cyber attacks. And I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. Does anyone remember what I'm talking about? They were dead to rights, nailed for running the biggest MDMA syndicate in the United States at one point. And there's all this drama around it, and they just completely walked and would absolutely not extradite. And the only reason that the gangsters, the Israeli Jewish gangsters involved, did any time is because they were committing crimes in Spain, and Interpol arrested them, and someone shipped them to the US to do like big boy time before they were able to get rescued by Mossad ninja squads, because it's illegal for them to do time. So yeah, it's a known thing, and they do time for nothing. All they have to do is go back to their crime base.
Definitely makes your blood boil on a story like this one, and easily can be avoided, easily should be fixed, and just some of the most morally reprehensible crimes that our supposed greatest ally is just covering up literally all the time, every day. So it makes you wonder why we should be having a relationship with these people whatsoever. But all right, speaking of being punished for crimes, who should or shouldn't be punished, we have a story coming out about a gentleman who was actually a sergeant in the Space Force, who decided to go and pursue 2 would-be car thieves, one who was the age of 14, another one 13, I believe. Shot and killed one of them. The other one lived, but now this guy is now going to be sentenced to 54 years in prison for fatally shooting a suspected teen car thief. So here you go. You wake up in the middle of the night. This guy serves his country, finds the 2 gangs of youth, urban youth are breaking into his vehicle. Guy decides to pursue, shoots one of them, kills him, shoots the other guy. He makes it. This guy goes to prison. Welcome to Colorado.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting. The evolution of, the maturation of our culture, where crime used to not be tolerated, yeeting criminals was totally fine, and now it's any excuse to put you in jail. No support from the government to support one of their guys, and yeah, it's just classic.
I mean, one thing I'll say on the onset of this one is to anyone in the audience here, at this point, you should kind of just know the terrain and know not to do something like this.
Don't do it.
Do not, again, what's the number one rule of how to win a gunfight? Don't get in one in the first place, right? It's like, listen here, okay? In a more sane period in history and time, this guy should be rewarded for removing 2 thieves from his community. However, we don't live in these same times, so everybody should know, particularly if you're a white man in this country, do not get into these kinds of fights if you can help it. All right. Should this guy have pursued these guys 3 blocks and then cornered them and then shot them? I mean, personally, on a moral level, I don't really give a shit. He just rid of the population of 2 more thieves, right? However, in the current political climate in the United States, do not expect to be rewarded from this one. Even if you're in like a self-defense situation as well, like be prepared to lawyer up and deal with that for months, if not years, in fees and everything. I mean, just look what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse, dude. So this is a tough situation because all of us know, being people of the right, we like order, we like, justice, we like safety, we like guns, we like just protecting our communities and doing what is obviously the correct thing. Sometimes cooler heads prevail in situations like this one, and it really does suck. But this is just where we live in. You are no use to us in this thing of ours, whatever we want to call it. You're no use to us sitting in jail or at the end of a rope.
Well, I was told by libertarians that Jared Polis, the governor of Colorado, was a part of a libertarian caucus in Colorado, so that Colorado would become much more libertarian and much more free. I mean, let's put aside the fact that he's an openly gay man, which means that he probably takes a lot of trips to Las Vegas since he's not too far from there. I mean, I'm not going to say this is what you get when you vote, because people vote for different things. People vote for different reasons. Only people who are so completely black-pilled and should probably seek MAID in Canada, are ones who will tell you nothing ever nothing ever changes, and everything's just going to get worse. And voting for somebody you can't, you should have known what you were voting for. We're voting hoping that things would change in our direction a little bit. The fact that it didn't, and you said that it wasn't going to change, is just like a kind of something historically that happens. You're not a genius because you said that nothing will change. But yeah, I mean, this is what you get when you not only legalize weed, which was, who knew that the state was going to become even more liberal and more corrupt by legalizing weed? But then you elect, a gay man, an openly gay man. And look at his picture on Wikipedia. Tell me you would leave your kids with that guy. And so what I'm saying all that to say this: you have to know, you have to know the political climate where you live. Colorado is not a place now that's going to allow you to take out the trash. If you feel like you have a calling to take out the trash, move to a state like mine, or a state like mine. Because if you have a cool sheriff, which for the most part a lot of them are, this wouldn't happen. If you have cool DAs, this wouldn't happen. And you may have some DA that decide to make a project out of you, but really, you're better off erring on the side of caution and being like, maybe I should just let it go and call my insurance company instead of risking the chance of ending up in jail for half a century. Spend basically the rest of your life in jail. And this guy's probably, I mean, he's former military, probably knows how to take care of himself, but I'd hate to see
the
what
guy
kind of conditions he's going to be in.
Guy was 27 years old at the time, now 29. Spend the next 54 years of his life in prison for doing objectively like the good thing, but because he allegedly chased down and vigilantism, and we had a long conversation last night in Mr. D's Twitter space about cops, and there's just no expectation these days that like the cop is actually there to be your friend whatsoever. You know, like, oh, your car gets broken into and stuff gets stolen out of it. Are you gonna get that stuff back? Never. No way. Not gonna happen. You know, is the guy that who actually did it gonna face any semblance of justice whatsoever? Nope, probably won't get found. Probably won't get arrested. Even if he is, he'll probably be out on bond with like a $25 bond within like
Dude, I've got this
5 minutes.
I have firsthand experience with this. A bank account got hacked 7-8 years ago. This was when I was living in a little suburb of Atlanta. Called the cops because I had to, the bank was going to take care of it, but you still have to file the police report. The cop told me he came, took the report. I saw him like a month later. And, I was like, you remember me? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we found out who that was. That was only someone like 2 cities over. He had done it to a lot of people. I'm like, did you arrest him? He's like, no, we're not allowed to. Everybody got their money back.
Unbelievable. It's just all facets. I mean, we were just talking earlier with like the visa stuff. People go out of their way to give foreigners jobs, to give people homes, to give people citizenship, to give people benefits, to ensure that criminals remain on the streets, everything like this. Now, just nothing for the heritage American, nothing for the guy trying to protect his property, protect his neighborhood, protect his community. Nothing for the, new guy fresh out of high school or college, trying to get a good job, trying to start a family, try to buy a home. It's just the heritage American population just continues to get squeezed of everything, like a orange juice, like in a blender, or orange in a blender to make orange juice, just squeezed absolutely dry. And it's going to come to a tipping point. Yeah, so sad to see. But we're going to give an update on the current takeover in Washington, D.C. in a second. But let's first go through these first rounds of super chats because they are piling in tonight. So let's get through these very quickly. All right, Solid Snake has maintained his title of first super chatter this evening. He has snuck behind enemy lines once again. He's hiding under his cardboard box. So Solid Snake 1964 for $10. Evening, gents. Being from Vegas originally. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. I'm not surprised that the authorities let him escape back to the little democracy in the Middle East. The authorities there are totally subservient to moneyed powers. It was nice when the casinos told the governor during COVID to open early from lockdown, though. Salute. Well, got to keep the spice must flow, as they say, right? Solid Snake 1964 again for $3. Says, whoops, I edited out the word when I was trying to get my super chat under 300 letters. Also, I sent an email asking specifics about submitting an essay. No rush. I know you're busy, man. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, that's a good point. We are opening up our submissions once again for the OGC Substack. So if you have an essay, if you have an article you would like to write for the OGC Substack, our pieces come out on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Please send over an email to theoldgloryclub@gmail.com. We'll send it over to the editors. They'll see if they like it. They'll be in contact with you, and hopefully you can get published on our platform. We're always happy to have fans of the show submit something. All right. Maple Copperhead for $25. Salute, gentlemen. We'll have to listen tomorrow. Apologize for missing last week. Yeah. I was wondering where you were. What the hell's wrong with you, Maple Copperhead? Come on. Ridiculous. All right. 1776 packs for $20 says deport. Hell yeah. I think we can all get behind that. Maniyud Sushi for $5. Your universe has no meaning to them. They will not try to understand. Jean Raspiel, the Camp of the Saints. Yep. Which who's had the reprint of it? Was it Vauban Books or Vaudabon Books? The Camp of the Saints book is out again now. You guys can go and get a copy of that. So
yeah, I think Vauban is pre-selling, and they may have already sold out of the hardcover.
Damn. Well, Pete, you did a audio reading of the book on your channel, so if you guys can't get yourselves a copy of the book, go and listen to that. All right, moving on to Christopher Burks for $5. Should be federal felony for illegals to drive across state lines. Would be nice if Congress passed laws. Yeah, I mean, well, that just opens up a whole other can of worms about the, again, we were making reference to Oron's appearance on Tucker Carlson earlier this week, which was fantastic, by the way. When people are done listening to this and the equally fantastic episode of American Spirits from Monday this week about the American frontier, we all know what Americans are. Americans are forged in the frontier. Oron and Tucker speak in great length about how Congress just basically doesn't do anything anymore. It's all been sent to the executive and the judiciary at this point. So it's a whole other can of worms about the fact that Congress just does fuck all, basically. So moving on to James 6656 for $10. It is funny how capitalism didn't apply to large mismanaged financial institutions that should have gone insolvent during the great financial crisis. Well, yep, of course. Romega 77 for $20. These people have no souls. That's why we're going to win. God willing. God willing. Bolero 393 for $5 says Representative Samir not gonna live in America anymore. What a great Office Space reference, which that movie was ahead of its time for what working in white collar corporate America is actually like. That movie should be required watching for many of our guys.
Absolutely.
Maybe we should do a review of that on the OGC Substack behind the paywall, because that
I'm in. I've seen it. I've seen it 15 to 20 times. I'm in.
I was working on a Y2K project when when that came out, and I saw it. Wow. I was just dying laughing.
Well, you see, Pete, you're really not wearing enough flair. All right, you need at least 10 pieces of flair to be on Pony Express Radio. All right. All right.
That was Mike Judge too. That was the best.
Yeah,
part.
It was. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's just say here about your TPS reports. All right. Art Bandit 8364 for $5. Got an email back from ICE with a tentative offer for deportation officer, even without law enforcement experience. Thank you for encouraging me to apply.
Oh, yes. Good for you,
dude. I've heard a lot of guys in our thing have been applying to ICE recently, and a lot of
people
responses very, very quickly. I mean,
Carl did.
Amazing. That's just crazy, man. I've seen things like $50,000 sign-on bonuses, no college degree required. They're going to train you. Like, guys, you know what? If I was a younger man and I didn't have my accounting career, I would seriously consider doing something like that. I mean, I couldn't believe it when I got my accounting job and I got a call back the day of when I submitted a job application, which is like literally never happened, for me in any other job ever in the history of anything. But this ICE one, a lot of people should really consider it. I think particularly if you're like a young guy and don't really know what you're going to do or anything like that, ICE is looking pretty nice right now for sure. So, alrighty. X-Comer for $10. Love Pete's rants, gets me fired up. Well, I think we all get fired up from Pete's rants. They're something special, aren't they? Sonna Haster from the new Ivy League, who had that fantastic ad at the start of our show this evening, and everyone head on over and be sure to join those guys in September for their excellent event. No doubt these guys are going to put on a great show. Always good to see all of them. He sends us $5 and says, just tuning in, what did I miss? Well, you're going to have to go back to the beginning and listen, my friend. No doubt you'll have a fun time listening for sure. It's been a good show tonight. Paladin YYZ, our good friend, sends us $20. The OGC are redefining what it means to have all the bells and whistles. LOL. Well, especially now that we got the Mos Eisley Cantina playing in the background. Those are our whistles, I would say. All right. Let's see. Ski Bum 220 for $100. That is the big super chat winner of the evening, my friend. Thank you very, very much. We greatly appreciate it. Got here late, made a lot of dollars last week, so here are some of them. Salute the OGC. Well, salute to you, Ski Bum. You are a frequent contributor here on the Super Chats on the show. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. And Miles Standoffish. I dig that name. Miles Standoffish. Good play on words. For $10. What can go wrong with giving megaton machines to people who worship a blue four-armed demon, then let them drive across the country? Yeah, well, nothing at all. Nothing bad occurs, of course, naturally. I'll never not laugh at it. I will never not laugh at it. All right, gentlemen, let's move on with our stories here. So we mentioned last week about Donald Trump's takeover of Washington, D.C. and cutting down on crime and everything. Interestingly enough, we have reports that I guess Donald Trump is going to go cruising around in patrol cars tonight. So the memes must flow on this one. Yeah, I just hope he tweets. I hope he tweets from the back of a police
that
car
meme of him pointing the Glock out of the limo.
Oh, it's gonna be real. Yeah, get in the car. You're getting deported. All right, but let's hear a report of what's going on. This is from Secretary Doug Burnham, Secretary of the Interior. Let's hear what he has to say about cleaning up operations in D.C.
The U.S. Park Police has removed all 72 of the homeless encampments that were on U.S. Park property in this metro area. Working now with a task force in the last week, there's been over 25 more. I think we're over 100. Some of those were on on metro property, not federal property, but that part's being taken care of. And so vagrancy is going away. We're enforcing the vagrancy laws. Violence, we've rolled back the Biden era no pursuit policy. So the U.S. Park Police can now, when they pull somebody over that's got stolen plates, mixed plates, criminal records, those criminals were just fleeing. And there was a rule where they were under the Biden administration, the U.S. Park Police couldn't chase them. Now they can. We've had 5 successful pursuits just in the last few nights, pulling people over that involved with all kinds of violent crime, kidnapping, rape, etc. So, gun violations. So we're back enforcing the law on the violent side. And then on the other piece, in terms of making it beautiful, we've reinstated some rules that President Trump had during his first term, which is up to $250,000 fine and 10 years in prison if you try to deface or tear down or have any effect on the incredible shrines to democracy that are all across D.C. and across our beautiful U.S. National Mall, which is part of the U.S. Park Police responsibility to protect and defend.
So first of all, 100 homeless encampments in Washington, D.C. itself. Not a big area, crawling with homeless people, and they just clean it up in a week. You can just do things.
And that's just the politicians.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. It's so true, though. It's a dump. It's completely wild walking around DC. You know what the local fauna are. You know, if you go into it understanding that, that's one thing. But just the sheer amount of homeless people on federal property was staggering. I hadn't been there for years, and I was just completely blown away by just how much and how degraded it is. And coming from the West Coast, it's less surprising, but you would see people, from civilized places looking around like, what is going on here? They had absolutely no idea what they were even looking at. It was very interesting to see.
So I remember going to DC back in 1998, 1999 and everything, and walking around Georgetown. You could walk around Georgetown 3-4 o'clock in the morning and feel fine.
Georgetown's fine, yeah, but but in the the monumental areas even are homeless everywhere.
Or Market Square.
Yeah,
it's just that's just gay. It's gay prostitutes, which is why there's so many politicians that hang out there. Yeah, DuPont Circle there too. Yeah, I mean,
so that's why Lindsey Graham was out late at night walking the street,
collecting ladybugs.
Yeah,
sorry, sorry everyone.
So additionally to this, do you guys remember the meme going around back in the Kyle Rittenhouse case when a guy fires into a crowd of leftists and strikes 2 child predators and a wife beater? Well, much the same thing kind of in this case where the DC police guys were yanking people out of the cars and arresting people for any manner of public disturbance or crime or what have you. And of course the Democrats are up in flames about this, saying, oh my goodness, this is absurd, this is racial profiling, this is just the Gestapo coming in. And then it comes out that almost everybody they just by happenstance of pulling out of their vehicles are also guilty of some crime. There was this one guy who was making the rounds who back in like 2021 was arrested for assaulting a 13-year-old. And he's like sitting there on camera saying, no, I just want to go home and be with my family. I'm just driving across town. Why are you doing this to me? Whatever. And it's just so remarkable overlap here,
He literally said in Spanish, I didn't do nothing. And just listening to it, and it's like, well, of course he's molested a 13-year-old when you look at the gentleman.
Yeah, of course. So I'm sure that there will be some very cool memes coming out of the Donald Trump drive-bys later tonight. So everyone look to Twitter tomorrow for some fun edits, I'm sure. What
would be great is, I was thinking about this, if like they arrest, like they see some like black kid in the middle of a crime and they arrest him, and then Trump goes out there and tries to get, don't want to do this, kid. You could be doing a lot better with your life. And he gave him one of those speeches. That'd be so classic.
Just imagine like the kind of talking he was doing to people when he was working at the McDonald's.
I have all these programs for the blacks that you should take advantage of.
I just hope it looks like Trump is having the time of his life, because when he was doing that McDonald's thing, it looked like he was so happy. I just hope we get some cool photos of him like sitting in the front seat, like with his arm hanging out the window or something.
That one,
like an episode of Miami Vice.
One of my favorite gifs is the one where he's leaning out the drive-through window and he's waving, and someone put on it, "Bye-bye, faggot."
Someone in the chat says Trump is Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh man.
Amazing. So well, it'll be cool. But the moral of this story is that yes, you can just do things. You can clean up the homelessness, you can clean up the filth, you can clean up the crime, you can clean up the foreigners. All it requires is will. It's been a week, dude. It's been a week, and they cleaned up all the homeless encampments. I saw some of them were driving by with like literal bulldozers and backhoes, just like running this stuff over. Great, should be done. Should have been done a long time ago. This city, the pristine capital of our country, with all of the monuments, with all the museums, with all the history, it should be like Yellow Brick Road levels of golden streets, in this place.
Everywhere is like that too, and that's
exactly
the most thing to understand. Is it's literally just will. We saw it in San Francisco. We've seen it in DC. There's nothing that can't be done. You just do it. You just clean it up. You just say no more. You round them up, and then you triage them. Lots of homeless people are criminals who are in violation of some law or another, who violated parole, who have warrants out for them. Grab them. If they're mentally ill, if they're drug addicts, institutionalize them, and hopefully some of them can get straightened out and become functioning members of society. But other than that, just get them off the street. In almost every city where there have been actual studies done about the crime, like 90% of it is caused by like 100 top offenders, and it's usually like the top 25 it's that whole 80-20 rule,
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of will. You live in a shithole because your politicians want you hiding inside, and they want you cowering in fear. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. You guys know the only thing I love about this meme, aside from like the clock thing, it looks like there's a black criminal in the back looking out the mirror or out the window in the back seat. He's like, look at that, he's already arrested a guy. That's great. Hilarious. Well, yeah, you can just do things. You can clean this stuff up. And the other thing is that the more that we show everybody that this stuff can be done, the less tolerant people are going to be of this nonsense that they see in New York, in Dallas, in Chicago, in St. Louis, in all of our major cities. If it could be done in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, you have no excuse to not do it anywhere else. This could all be fixed. People are sick of the increased levels of crime in this country. Fuck all your graphs saying crime is down. People know it's not. All right. You can fudge your numbers however you like. People are sick of it. I want to be able to walk around in my cities and not see filth, smells like weed, run into homeless people, worry about getting carjacked or stabbed or something like this. Like, fuck off. We've had enough of this shit.
It's over.
Indeed. So hopefully Drive By Don has some good memes for us to show next week. So everyone be on the lookout for that. All right. So speaking of Washington, D.C. and criminals, we have to turn our attention to the criminals behind the Russiagate scandal. So Tulsi Gabbard has been in and around this for the last couple of weeks, making these big, bold, bombastic claims, which, of course, we've all known have been true from the very beginning. You know, it's crazy that this is almost 10 years old now, this Russiagate stuff, which undoubtedly this is part of it, because I don't know what the situation is on the statute of limitations on some of these cases, but I'm sure that with every day that clock is ticking ever down to zero at this point. So you best act on this one. Before we play actually, I don't even think we need to even watch this, to be honest, because she just says what we have right here. But anyway, the point of this that we really have to get down to is you could revoke the security clearances of 37 Obama era, intelligence officers and people who were involved in this Russia case and something like this. But dude, that is not punishment, man. People need to go to jail for this shit, period. If you can steal years off of the president of the United States, administration with a bold-faced lie in an open and shut case of corruption of the highest order, destroying our relationships with Russia, which has had cascading effects down to this Ukraine war nonsense and the embezzlement of all the money that's been going on over there. If people aren't punished for this, then what is the point of making this like big political show trial and stuff? Like, the American people are done with this shit, man. I'm sick of Tulsi Gabbard going on TV and saying, look at all this bombshell evidence that I found. Granted, same thing with Stephen Miller, even though I generally like that guy way more than I like Tulsi Gabbard on this one. But just sitting around saying, look at the judicial coup going on news every day saying judicial coup. It's like, I get it, dude. Fucking do something about it. Start arresting some people, man.
Yeah, it's so impotent otherwise. I mean, Steve Miller is one of the good ones, but at the same time, yeah, you can't do this thing where you just have this performative. No one's falling for Trey Gowdy. Did you know that he's a former federal prosecutor? Like, oh, look how he tore into so-and-so in a hearing. It's like, it's over. It's that those days are gone. No one cares. No one's convinced by it. No one is persuaded. No one is satisfied. You can't do it anymore. It's done.
Well, if you don't take action here, you're just basically saying that it's all right to do in the future.
Yeah.
Again. And you're basically telling them just do it in the future, because no one's gonna pay the price. Look, I am not delusional. I don't think anyone's getting arrested. I don't think anyone, but weirder stuff has happened. And I think honestly, at this point, the Democrats may be willing to sacrifice somebody, like one or two people, just so that they can get past this, make some kind of deal behind the scenes. Somebody gets 10 years in prison, 15 years in prison.
It looks like Adam Schiff might be that character, allegedly.
Well, that's also the guy who was behind the whole NAFO thing. He should go to Gitmo just for that. You notice those guys disappeared after USAID got funded?
Yep.
Yeah, real interesting, huh? That guy, yeah. I mean, that or Barack Obama should at least be made to come out on TV and admit that his wife has a dick.
Big
It's
Mike.
very nice. I like to put my mouth on it. Now let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
I mean, we know he does. I mean, the guy,
Let me be clear. I do not get on my knees.
Well, we know he likes wieners. I mean, the guy had like $65,000 worth of hot dogs in 8 years in the White House. Yeah, what was that all about too? Maybe we'll talk about that one day.
Gay chef found floating face down. Oh, we know what that means.
Yeah.
We know what you're up to, Barry.
Did you hear? Did you hear recently that he had that Martha's Vineyard estate and they sold it? Did you hear who he sold it to?
Oh my God! Wasn't it like Les Wexner bought it or something?
Les Wexner.
He didn't just give it to him.
Just
incredible.
It's like if we saw it on like a TV show or something, we'd call it for how bad the writing is.
He's like, oh, this is corny, dude. Come on.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys, really? This is like Game of Thrones season 8 levels of bad.
Yeah, just terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's they just don't care anymore. I mean, when I was growing up, and Thomas and I talk about this all the time, is they at least they put on airs. And it's beyond that now. I mean, they're literally like, yeah, we're going to take this guy who wants to rape American white girls, and we're just going to let him go. They fucking hate you and want you dead. That's it. They want you. What does Sam Hyde say? They want you, your children trans, your family raped, and and you dead.
Poor and destitute. Yeah, poor and destitute.
Yeah.
They think it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious at this point.
100%. Well, we will get on to the humiliation for our final story. But first, one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly from USCIS is something very interesting coming out right now about, we forgot to mention this a little bit earlier, but they're going to be actively searching for anti-Americanism and, another point on here too, we're going to yell at, I'm sure, but they're actively looking for anti-American rhetoric and revoking people's visas. We forgot to mention that earlier, but also written down in this policy was dun, 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 anti-Americanism and anti-Semitism. Which, why is that written? Why is that written in that sentence? Why?
Because anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism are the same thing. The United States does not exist without Israel. I mean, I've been told that. So why not? Why not? It just makes sense at this point. They're not even trying. Like I said, they're not even trying to hide it. As a matter of fact, they don't care that you know.
No.
They think it's hilarious.
All right, so here we go from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services is committed to implementing policies and procedures that root out anti-Americanism and fully support the enforcement of rigorous screening and vetting measures. We've updated our policy guidance to ensure our officers are aware of the factors they may consider in certain benefit requests where an exercise of discretion is required. In addition, we've expanded the types of benefits requests that receive social media vetting and reviews for anti-American activity. And then when you actually go in there and read it, in that same sentence, they had anti-Semitic as well. So it's just, great. Anti-American? Great. Should be on there all the time. I can think of plenty of people in this country who are anti-American, should be removed immediately, and millions more who want to come here who are anti-Americans. But you know what? Something little, hairs get up on the back of my head, much in the same way for how we were deporting all those student visa holders in Ivy League campuses for anti-Semitic behavior as opposed to anti-American behavior.
And there was a whole bunch of people who were like, well, why do we care why they're being deported? We just need to deport them. Okay, but you realize that you've just basically increased the power, Jewish power in this country by doing that. By by saying, "Oh, it's okay if they do it," it's like like certain people on Twitter, who say, with Zion, when you embrace Zionists, you win. Okay, well, I mean, I'm sorry. We're not going. I've told this to our friends in the UK before. Yes, I understand these brown pieces of shit that have absolutely destroyed your fucking country. I understand you have to deal with them, but you also have to deal with who put them there. And if you don't deal with who put them there, I understand that you have to keep yourself safe in the meantime. So that's why you have to concentrate on the Browns. But there's other kinds of people there. There are other Browns there, actually, who say they're not white people. And yes, there are natives who are collaborating with them. You have to know who all of your enemies are. And your enemies, your biggest enemies, are the ones that facilitated them getting there. So, yes, deal with the crime and the friggin' animals that are roaming the streets. But just know, you can get rid of all of them. Yeah, like if you woke up one day and you decided we're going to get them all out and they're gone in a month, you get them all out. They'll be right back if you don't take care of the root of the problem.
Yep.
Yep. You're here. So it's just such a slap in the face to having a document like this. Is just so important to the actual livelihood of the United States and the further existence of it as a sovereign country, to just have anti-American and then in the next comma, anti-Semitic behavior and activities. I'm sorry, there wasn't a single Jew that signed the Declaration of Independence. Haven't had a single Jew as president. How many of the founding fathers?
Well, I think I question LBJ, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just why does this have to be on our documents? Such a small portion of the population, not part of the original founding stock of this country, not part of the original founding myths of the country, any of its documents, any of its leaders, any of its laws, any of its customs, traditions, ways of life, language. I'm just sick and tired of seeing exceptions for the special group literally for forever. Tired of it. And everybody else is seeing it too. Just why is this on here? It has no business being on here whatsoever. Anti-American? Great. That should speak for itself. Yeah, and the other thing too about this is like I saw some people pushing back on this, saying like, oh well, why is it not even saying like anti-white on there as well? It's like, well, you just say anti-American. There you go.
Yeah.
I actually don't want it codified in that way, like on these documents, because it's already like seeding the ground on that one. It's like, no, it should just say anti-American. Everyone knows what an American is. If you hear somebody and you're walking down the street and they point a finger at a guy and say, hey, that guy should be deported, and immediately a foreign country pops into your brain, that's a pretty good heuristic. Everyone knows what an American is. And if you want a more detailed history of what an American is, our friends Charlemagne and Turnip Seed and the rest of their guests that they're having on their American Spirit show on Monday are answering that exact question in fantastic detail, and everybody should be listening to it, especially if you're an OGC member. That is absolutely required listening, 100%. If we're supposed to be vanguards and heralds and protectors of our ancient history and our traditions, if you're not listening to what those guys are doing over there, you're doing yourself a major disservice. So let's move on to our final story of the night, which is, talking about a beloved breakfast diner chain. Many people know it well. Cracker Barrel has gone through the shitty, race to the bottom. Like the only way to make a forest equals with an axe kind of deal. Well, they had to change their logo this week, and this also comes with changing of the interior designs of it as well. Just speaking on this myself, I just hate this demoralizing crap where, the idea of going into the American Family Breakfast Diner, even though this is a chain, is such a huge part of roadside America. There's a whole culture with this. If people don't remember this, go and watch Academic Agent and John D go over John Margulies' streams, and it's just hours after hours of photos of roadside America, like diners, big signs, roadside attractions like world's biggest ball of yarn or world's giant cup of coffee or something. Like there's something really American about this, and to, reduce this American icon to, we're going to do a very generic, basic bitch level logo. We're going to destroy all the interior decorations because we all have to make it look uniform and the same, like this Soviet style shit. I hate it. I hate it. Look at this. Look at that place on the left. It's got knickknacks all over the wall, cute cheerleaders in the back, nice little store up there, and this thing on the right where it's just, oh no, we gotta have the plain coat, white walls. Everything's got to be the same. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate this demoralization shit.
From a just kind of a basic perspective, it's just telling you that when you look at it, this is a trend from sometime between 2015 and probably 2030. Like that's all it looks like. It's this like bland, semi-homey, but still industrial thing. I've never been in a Cracker Barrel, but it's that
they're great. They're great. They're like the
what?
Like
they're nowhere.
like
they're
the
nowhere near.
American
I live
diners.
on the exact opposite side of the continent.
I know for a fact you've been in Tennessee.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I did go to a Waffle House, but there was no shooting or violence of any kind. I was surprised based on the report.
I could say we go to Atlanta. I got one in Atlanta we can go to.
I believe.
I mean, I dig these places. It's got like the barn aesthetic, the barn aesthetic with the rocking chairs up front that you can go around. They got the barrels sitting everywhere, the peanuts you can get.
It's
the front of the
candy
stores.
that I ate when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Yeah, just a classic country store. Speaks to a more ancient time in America where you went to the country store, you could buy whatever you want on one side of it. You can go and get yourself a meal on the other side. If you guys ever watched the show Little House on the Prairie, it's very similar to that. The Olson Mercantile, was it called? I think, where they had like the restaurant on one end and the little store on the other. You can get yourself some candy, little plushie toy, little like a rocking horse or something like that. It's very American, very Americana.
Very.
And they make good pancakes and biscuits and gravy as well. I hate this shit. I hate it.
Well, it's also cheaper to do this other approach, which is probably one of the primary, goals. It needs to be cheaper, and then it needs to be, not regional. We have to modernize it with her thick plastic black glasses.
I'm sure the other thing too is there's probably some bullshit about the building codes and regulations that everyone has to follow these days as well. There's probably a huge factor here on this one as well. So I hate all this shit. It's like we should be embracing the regionalism and the history of this country.
Yeah, there's many.
What's wrong with something looking Americana?
Where we see this, there's a chain. It's a small chain, but a chain nonetheless, called Original Pancake House that originated in Portland, Oregon. That's very, very good. They do like Dutch babies and all kinds of great stuff that you have to like tell them up front if you're going to order that, because it takes like 30 minutes because it's done in like a cast iron pan and takes a long time to cook and everything. Great food, and they grew very slowly with the original owners because everything had to be perfect, and the vibe had to be the same. It was in like an old house that was then restored with clapboard walls and stuff like that, and it had kind of a similar like level of simple design, but now they're in like strip malls, and it looks like the image on the right almost. It's just so they have local images and stuff, which is great, like vintage local images from the settlement days and in the early 20th century, which is cool, but it's just bland. Everything else is bland. It's modern and bland, which is all that matters. And the food isn't quite to the same standards. And it's like it's all based on the, running the digits like this this black rimmed glasses person.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who goes to Cracker Barrel several times a year, this is just, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the place. There's nothing wrong with the picture on the left, which is what we're used to. And I mean, really, it's just commercializing. I mean, I understand it's a chain; it's already commercial. Still, there's still sort of a feel when you go into a Cracker Barrel where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have some really good food here. I mean, they have some of the best bacon out there. So the sausage gravy is great. You wonder what's going to happen to the food. Because I mean, if this bitch is doing this, who's to say she's not gonna be like, oh, we need to be healthier.
Lox and bagels.
Yeah, and
well,
where's your kosher option?
I actually like those. I actually like lox and bagels.
Lox and bagels, really
I grew up in New York, so I mean, come on. But yeah, I've been going to Waffle House for more than half of my life. I mean, Waffle House too, but I've been going to Cracker Barrel for more than half of my life. It's never changed, and that's one of the reasons why I fucking go there.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's just a little slice of Americana, I like these diners that you go into where the walls are just covered with, millions of little knickknacks, and you could just get lost in an entire day just looking at everything. Oh, we got a 18th century bear trap on the wall over here, and oh, here we got a sign from an old movie theater, and oh, look over here, here's a makeshift wanted poster sign or what have you, or the picture of like a classic barn or something. It's just it's got character to it, it's got nostalgia to it, it's got Americana to it.
Not allowed. No fun allowed.
Of course not. No fun allowed.
Modern and sterile.
I mean, if Waffle House changes anything, I'm gonna friggin' lose my shit. I want to go into Waffle. I mean, there's actually a Waffle House off at 20 on the way to Birmingham, which is like a completely white staff, which is not what you go to Waffle House for. You go to Waffle House for like a black staff where you play like you have a pool game where it's like, okay, let's guess how many teeth they have in their head collectively. And the closest one wins the pool. Yeah. So, yeah, don't mess with Waffle House either.
I will say this, though. There's another chain here that we have not talked about. But the OGC Central will pay you guys top bounty and top dollar. Hashtag, don't do anything, illegal here. But if you can get us a Huddle House waffle maker and somehow get it to OGC Central, we would greatly, greatly appreciate this. We've been wanting to play a joke with this for a very, very long time. So if anyone, it has to be from Huddle House. All right. We need an actual Huddle House waffle maker. Please make this happen. Somebody in our audience. So
Huddle House, they're really good too. I hadn't really been to one until, fairly recently, like a couple of years ago. And yeah, their food's really good too.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. Well, with that, let us move on to the rest of the super chats, and we'll call it a night here, gentlemen. So, Seasider for $10 sends us a salute as he does every week. Thank you very much, sir. You're definitely earning your Seasider wing of the future OGC national headquarters. So, thank you very much. Ski Bum for $2.20 sends us another $5. I contacted a data center by Columbus, Ohio for 3 weeks. It was like the UN in there, or contracted at a data center by Columbus, Ohio for 3 weeks. It was like the UN in there, infinity foreigners. Many of them didn't even speak English. I imagine so. One of my buddies is doing one of these jobs in Dallas right now, and he's reporting the exact same thing. Every company that hires non-heritage Americans should be fined a ruinous amount of money. Oh, well, another story that we didn't even talk about this, but you guys see all the fake job postings that all these companies have now been caught doing at this point, where of course, we put up the job but no Americans applied, so of course we have to go get a foreigner and pay them 15 grand less a year in order to do the job. That just betraying the trust so badly. Unacceptable behavior to be doing shit like that, where people are struggling for jobs and a downgoing economy. You're literally just having fake job postings. I remember getting in conversations with this even 10 years ago, right, with boomers and other family members about just how many jobs have you submitted applications to today? And they look at you like you have like two heads or something when you say, oh, I applied for like 100 jobs or something. And it's like, well, you just got to fix up your resume. It's like, no, like literally the jobs have been fake for a very, very long time.
Very long.
On these sites. It's just, they're not real. They're just not there. You could send out. I'm sure everybody in the chat who's been looking for a job in the job market in the last like 15 years can experience and attest to this. You just have your resume out there, send how many applications, and you just never get a response back ever. It's been bad for a very long time.
I had someone say, "Hey, I know a guy who's on the board of." He's on boards of a bunch of tech companies. Let me pass your resume on. And then in a follow-up text, they provided Jeet first name. And I'm like, fuck, there's no way. There's no way. And I just, bite my tongue. And, the boomer has no defenses against the Jeet. It's really amazing. And I'm seeing some boomers who are great people who I care about, like, deal with them for the first time, and they're just perplexed. And it's like, why do you think that I'm more racist against them than anyone else?
Yep. Nobody has fumbled the bag as bad as the Jeets have in the last couple of years as a race. Like, let me tell you, it's like the boomers. They grew up in a high trust society, and they import some of the most low trust people in the history of the world. And not just by the dozens, not just by the hundreds, but by the tens of millions.
And what I like to point out is that your individual boomer didn't do that. Like the blue collar, union guys were opposed to it. The white collar and blue collar Republican guys were opposed to it. It was done. And then over time, because of their crippling addictions to television and quote unquote conservative talk radio, they just got their brains scrambled by media to where they're like, oh, well, they're the good, like high performing ones. And, they're not like, the Muslims. And it's like, no, you have no idea.
Yeah. Satish here is doing a really hard job. He's just doing the work that you won't do, man.
He's just doing the job that your grandson won't be allowed to apply for.
Yeah, or won't work because he won't debase himself by living in a hovel and making 15 grand less than what he should be being paid for the same level of work. It's just a fucking joke, man. And the other thing too, there was a story going around just yesterday on Twitter where a guy was putting his house up for sale, right? And he had a garden in the back, and he was doing a house showing, and a family of Jeets come in to make an offer on the house. And they want to go walk around the backyard and look around. And he's like, okay, come back inside when you guys are done with the backyard. He goes outside. After 20 minutes of them not coming back inside, they ransacked his entire garden. And they put all the vegetables in the chick's purse, put them in the backpack, just literally doing a house visit, for an offer on a home. Oh, we're just going to steal all the vegetables. Holy fuck, man.
Classic.
It'll never not be funny. Never. All right. Well, I talk about min-maxing your super chats. Well, Ski Bum, you definitely won the award for that one this week, my friend. So, let's see. Infernal Morans for $5. Watch American Spirits and forward it to your dad afterwards. Very boomer friendly. I would say so. Yes, absolutely. I think it's everyone friendly. It's American friendly. If you're an American, you should be listening to American Spirits. Listen, I running this show, and being in this space for all these years, have not known all the history lessons that people are talking about on the American Spirit Show. I learned something new every single episode, and it's really important, to have a firm understanding of our history. So, all right, let's move on to what a great name. Imagine my lack of shekel for $15. Cracker Barrel stock goes to zero. ICE appropriates their buildings, installs matrix pods. Deportees and DC homeless are put into pods to power chatbots who root out anti-West Israel sentiment. Also, LBJ was doubling as Golda Meir. Well, there's a lot in that one. Donnie Beef 946 for 20 Australian bucks sends us a super sticker of a hippo saying victory. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Donnie. Machiavelli sucks to go. Oh, he's back. He changed his name back. My goodness. Machiavelli sucks to go for $5. How much prison time has the Waffle House staff done?
That's a very legitimate question.
No doubt, quite a bit, I am sure. All right, and then our final super chat of the evening comes from Hunter Counts for $10. Anyone remember Ruby's Diner? Mediocre food, but has awesome swing era aesthetics. Last I checked, there's only 2 left in the U.S. I do not remember this one. I don't think so. You guys are familiar with this?
No, and I'm old.
Was that the one the guy sprayed in Waco in like the early 90s? That was Luby's, I think. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a Luby's. Apparently there's a Ruby's Diner in Abbeville, Alabama.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Or let me see, hold on. Oh, they're all over the place. California, other states. Atlantic City. Yeah, they're all over the place. All right.
Well, that is us all caught up on the super chats. So that's it for the show this evening. We'll go around and do our last round of shillings. So, Pete, what do you have coming up, my friend?
Go check out the episode that I dropped about, I think it was a week ago with Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson, where he did a deep dive into the background of President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum.
Excellent episode.
And we find out that, yeah, she is a direct descendant of Bolshevik revolutionists from Russia. Imagine the shock that I had when I heard that.
Incredible.
Definitely a heritage Mexican for sure, I'd say. Yep. Mr. Karl Dahl, do you have anything to promote, sir?
I've been doing lots of shows with Thomas777, our good friend Thomas.
Excellent shows, man.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Thomas's, it's $50 a year to get his podcast. And the shows he's done with Carl this year, started off doing a bunch of shows with Bagby that are friggin' incredible.
They're great.
They did a bunch of shows with Carl and a few shows with Anthony Raimondo. I mean, Thomas is killing it this year on his show. And a lot of that has to do with Carl.
Yeah, we've been talking about the second Indochina War, aka the Vietnam War, and peripheral stuff. And I have a deep interest and involvement in documenting some stuff from the spooky side of things in cross-border operations and stuff because of a family member. So I'm writing his memoirs, but they can't be released until he passes. So. But I want to get them done. So I'm able to share some of the fun stuff that I find out with Thomas. And other than that, my Substack, karldahl.substack.com. Any podcasts I do end up posted there. And I'm working on some other projects, but still have 2 book on Amazon, Faction and Faction with the Crusaders. The latter being a nationalist sympathetic perspective on the Spanish Civil War, and it's a fun one. Recently did a show with Jay Burden talking about the book itself, as well as some of my thoughts on writing and the writing process.
Alrighty, definitely be sure to check out all that stuff. And as well, if you guys haven't heard Karl Dahl's speech that he gave at this year's OGC conference, that is on the backlog on this channel. It was a great one. As I mentioned earlier, definitely got the joke of the year for sure. In addition to being an excellent topic about the Spanish Civil War. So everyone go and listen to that. For myself, I might be making an appearance on Rule Zero and Post Zero this weekend. We'll see what the topics are. If they interest me, I'll hop on. But what I am doing is I'm bringing back the streaming on my own channel. So Sundays from now on, I will be playing an hour or two of games on Sunday. So if you want to watch some video game shows, some content, I'll be playing some games on Sunday. And this week I'm going to be playing Cabela's Pro Hunts as hunting season is coming up here. So if you guys want to watch some gameplay of that, go check me out on Sunday over on my own channel, the RedHawk channel. So, all right. And with that, we will be back next week for American Spirits on Monday, Chapter House on Wednesday, and another Pony Express radio episode on Thursday. We'll see you guys.